welcome back to Overbooked. I'm Amanda, and today I just kind of wanted to have a little conversation and just kind of share my thoughts. Recently, there has been the killing of a black man, George Floyd, in Minneapolis, and I come from Minneapolis. I come from that area, so it's really disheartening to see. But I don't think it's a shock or a surprise. And I think that we, especially white people, need to stop saying how surprising it is and how shocking it is that another black person has died at the hands of the police or, just white people in general. In the case of Ahmaud, who was on a jog, and two dead father and son just thought they would take it up upon themselves to police the community. I am just getting really tired of seeing this happen, which I can't imagine being a black person and being that terrified of going out, because I would be. I mean, why wouldn't you not be? Obviously there are plenty of examples of what's happening where, you should be on guard, and that should not be the case. And it's just really disturbing that that's how you have to live your life. But I'm also getting really tired of white people being shocked and surprised, because why? Why are we shocked and surprised? We created the system. We are the ones who are making it still happen, and it's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. So I think that the surprise needs to wear off, because if we just spend too much time being surprised, then I think we don't have any time to do anything else. I'm also getting really tired of hearing about the protests in Minneapolis being unnecessary, and I think that's complete bullshit, because do I think that violence is the answer? Not necessarily, no. I don't think that buildings should be burned down ever, or people should be destroying things. But in this case, it's almost like, what do you want to do? What is the solution? And I had a friend on Instagram, and he shared his thoughts and feelings. And he said, if not this, then what? What do you want to see? The petitions aren't working. The peaceful protests aren't working. The social media posts aren't working. All the peaceful things that you say that they should be doing is not working. They're not getting attention. So I don't think that we should judge, because you were prosecuted and unjustly sought out to be criminalized and killed because of the color of your skin every day, and you saw it happen over and over and over again, not for years, not for decades, but for generations. And then you had all this built up, anger, sadness, and grief. And then I would be mad too. I would want to burn something, because if no one was hearing my voice, what would get your attention? To be honest, I have I should have no opinion. I should have no judgment, because I never go through it. I've never experienced that. So I think that whatever needs to happen, whatever they feel they need to do it. And the thing that just rattles me is it's just so frustrating, because when Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee, it was that's unnecessary. That's not needed. But a cop takes a knee on a man's neck, and then it's oh, well, why are they protesting? Why are they upset? Why are they burning things down? If Colin Kaepernick can't take a knee peacefully, then what can he do? What can anyone do? It blows my mind. I wanted to come here today to share those thoughts, because they've been weighing heavily. I also wanted to take the time, because I know a lot of white people are what do I do? What do I do to help? How can I be an ally? And I think that's great, and I have asked myself the same questions. But I think we also need to start, I think asking the question is good, but I don't think that we need to keep asking our black friends. We have to stop asking our black friends and stop DMing people we don't know, because it's not their job. It's not their job to educate you. It's not their job to take the time and energy and explain to you what's going on. That's the first step, I think, is just kind of just stop. Stop asking that question to anyone that you know that's Black, because it's not necessary. There are plenty of resources out there. And a lot of these Black people on, BookTube or Bookstagram or, just in general, Twitter or anywhere on the online space or books or whatever, have already answered a lot of the questions for you. So, have spent the time creating content for you to learn. Utilize that. Don't ask out loud. Maybe ask yourself and then Google or library or, ask your other white friends. What have you done to learn more about the Black experience? Learn more about how you can help be an ally. I think that's a really good thing to do. And honestly, my fiance and I have been having a lot of conversations over the past couple days and weeks because of Ahmad. So I think those conversations do help and they work and they raise awareness. But, since this is a BookTube channel, I wanted to point out some things that you, as a white person, could do to learn more and to help you be an ally. So I follow and listen to the Stacks Pod, and it's a brilliant podcast, and she talks about books. She has a little book club, and she brings on guests. They talk about books that they like to read, what the guest likes to read, and then they'll bring the guest back, and they'll talk about the book that they read together. And she has a usual routine set of questions for the first time, and I really enjoy that because I love hearing that those same questions out of different people. And Tracy does really get to the heart of race too, which I really enjoy. One of the ones I really enjoyed was she recently read The Hating Game with a romance bookstore owner, and the guest was white and she is Black, and she talked about the missing color of The Hating Game. That clearly they were all white, and how that kind of affects the story. And I really enjoyed that because I would have never clued in on that. And sometimes I need to listen to realize. And since listening to this podcast, I do start paying attention more to what's going on in the books I read, the shows I watch, because it's important for me to do that and to talk about that when I realize that something's not right. So the Stacks Podcast is a great resource for you if you read books and you want to get book recommendations, you want to get really in-depth conversation about the book. It's great, and I'm going to link it below. So I encourage you to listen to that and follow her on Instagram, because that's where I love following her. And she also has a Twitter, but she also put out a list of 50 plus nonfiction books about anti-racism and anti-Black racism. And I think this is the important part. We absolutely need to do better, and I think that reading some of these books would be a start. So she took the time and energy to put together this list. The least you could do is look at it and buy a book or check out a book from your library. So I'm going to link the list below. And it's a wonderful list. I've looked at it numerous times. I've gotten 3 books from it already. I've read 1 book on the list, and I actually did a review on it. It's called Blood in the Water, and it's just a wonderful list. So I'm going to link that below as well. So I really think that you should check that out. And yeah, it's very important. And then I also just want to point out and say that another bookstagrammer that I follow is Absorbed in Pages, and she has a beautiful feed. And she's also putting together a list of books of the Black experience, but that are fiction. So I'm also going to link that below. And I think that's great too, because I think that fiction stories are just as important as nonfiction. But I do think to say, and I saw this on Twitter this morning, and I'm going to say this going in, I think that, you should check out the fiction list as well. But I think that the nonfiction list is just as important. Like, don't confuse the two, because nonfiction stories are about real people. So, and those fiction stories are probably looking at those real people for their stories. So think about that too, and just think about maybe the bigger impact that reading about a real person can have versus a fiction story. So I'm going to link those lists below, and I think you should check both of them out. And I think you should try to read both. And I think you should really, really try it. And when you read it, don't just gloss over it. Read it. Pay attention. And then I'm also just going to link, because this is Booktube, I'm going to link some booktubers, some Black booktubers that I really enjoy, and who I watch frequently. I watch Chanel Time. She's hilarious. She literally makes me crack up. I think the other night I was doing a puzzle and I watched like 5 of her videos while I was doing it. There's the booktuber Ghost Reader, and I really enjoy him because he reads a lot of nonfiction, and it's really hard to find people who read nonfiction on Booktube. The Artisan Geek, I love her. She puts a lot of effort and time into her videos, and she dresses up a lot, and it's so fun. I think I've mentioned her before. And Naya Reads and Smiles. She's full of energy. She does a great job of, I think, putting a really visually pleasing video together, and also just having a really good conversation about the book. Rachel Ray, she also reads a lot of nonfiction and more contemporary fiction, which is very hard to find, I think, and I love her perspective. And Bowties Books, and she is a great booktuber, and she's also very vocal about the Black experience, and I think that's important to listen to that. And she also lives in Minneapolis, and I have started following her on Bookstagram, and she had a story. All of her stories were about how she was at the protest and experiencing what was happening, and it was very emotional and real. So I highly encourage you to follow them, check them out, listen to them, because that's what we can do, is listen. And because I bet that if we spend more time listening, that we won't have so many questions to ask them, because they're already answered. So I just wanted to do that today. I really just hope that everyone is safe and healthy, and I hope the Black people watching, I hope you're taking time for yourself. This is a lot of emotion and energy that you probably have to expend your time on, and I hope you're resting, and I hope you're grieving, and I'm really sorry. We can do better. Every single one of us, myself included. I don't have a lot of people coming to my channel. I only have 200 subscribers. But please be mindful if you are here and you want to comment. I don't really want harsh comments happening, or if you really want to have a discussion, and that's fine, but I don't really want any hateful things happening. It's not really what I'm about. So to the 20 people who are going to watch this video, please be respectful and kind. All right, so thank you for watching. This is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.